Hey everybody, Tony D with a Screenwriter's Rant on Pursuit, starring Emile, Hirsch, and John Cusack. Okay, rated R. Little Joan is on the couch and I'm trying to get ahead for today's videos. So smash like and subscribe. Thank you for smash liking and subscribing. If you'd like to support the channel, my books are in the description, all available at Amazon.com. If you have Kindle Unlimited free, it's free to read my books, including the Pineys. Now, Emile Hirsch is playing some sort of hacker from, I assume, the 90s, because only the 90s has computer graphics like this. So, apparently they kidnap his wife, and John Cusack plays his father, who knows something about the kidnapping, because he's involved with drugs, I guess. And so they're both playing gangsters of sorts. Although Emile Hirsch is playing more of like a non-gangster being a gangster, which is a little more realistic. I kind of buy him in this role. Not really. He's a little soft to be playing this role. A little soft to be playing an action star. I have never seen Emile Hirsch play something this violent. And the face tattoo really isn't working for me because, yeah, I'm not buying the face tattoo. I mean, I get what they're trying to do. They're trying to make him look tougher. It's not really working for me. But apparently they've kidnapped his wife and he's out to capture her or find her, and the cops are after him and gangsters are after him, and his father, played by John Cusack, somehow knows something and is involved in very serious crimes. John Cusack especially seems out of place in this. Doesn't seem like the kind of role February 18th that it's all drugs. You know, there's scenes of Cusack talking back and forth on the phone with a guy who's clearly the big muckety muck, and I'm just not buying it. Cusack never plays these roles. He never ever plays these roles. Why all of a sudden is he playing the dad of Emile Hirsch? And this guy is the gangster. He's a little more gangster. I'm not sure what the name of this particular actor. He looks vaguely familiar, but I mean, Emile Hirsch is trying to look tough. He's trying. But not as tough as these actors playing the cops. I mean, he just looks like Emile Hirsch with a face tattoo. He also appears to be a lot shorter than the rest of the cast, so that's odd. And there doesn't appear to be any kind of lightness to this movie. It's supposed to be serious, and that's why I kind of can't take it seriously. Cusack, he looks frail here. I mean, I think they wanted him to look older, so they made him look a little older. You know, didn't put as much makeup on him, let him show his age. The problem is he doesn't look like a mean guy. Cusack has never played a gangster that I remember. I mean, he's played a hitman, but in quirky, funny movies that were sort of not really all that serious, where he is the star and he's making snarky comments while he's like killing a guy, which isn't quite the same as playing an actual gangster. So I think this is horribly miscast. Horribly miscast. The music is terrible. I'll tell you right now. The background music is terrible. I'm not too crazy about the name Pursuit, although it's fairly accurate to what's going on. I mean, they're pursuing Emile Hirsch throughout the movie. And apparently they just keep talking to John Cusack on the phone. Probably until the late scene in the movie where Emile confronts him and kills him. It starts on February 18th. So, yeah, here he is. Finally, they catch up to him. You can see Cusack's on the ground. But Cusack is in the same location throughout the trailer, which leads me to believe he's sort of like the also starring. That he's basically a name to add some box office to this thing, and that he's not really in the movie. They just keep cutting back to him throughout the movie. He's in basically the same clothes in his home trying to navigate things via phone, and he's not really doing anything other than arguing with people on the phone. So, can Cusack sell this? I don't think so. I've never seen him sell a serious gangster role. Even in like a movie like 2012, terrible movie, I think. You know, he's playing a role in which he's serious, but he's kind of an everyman. You can't be an everyman and be a gangster. Gangsters have a particular look to them, and the actors they tend to recruit to play them tend to be mean looking, or they have a meanness to them. Now, if you take a look at Hugh Grant, he's in this new movie called Operation Fortune Ruse de Guerre, which I reviewed the trailer a few days ago. He changed his look, Hugh Grant. Hugh Grant normally plays leading man, handsome man kind of roles. He sort of, gave himself a look that makes sense with the role. He looks like a crooked billionaire. Cusack just looks like slightly older Cusack. I mean, if they wanted to make him a gangster, they needed to, I don't know, give him, like, even his clothes still are reminiscent of the sorts of costuming he wore in other movies. Either it was a suit or something like this. Casual guy clothes. Casual dude at the record store clothes. Cusack really needs a makeover. Maybe some facial hair, a mustache, a goatee, something. Dark sunglasses. I know they can't really do that. They'd be covering up his face. He's starting to show his age. He doesn't look good in this. I think that's on purpose, because they want to. I don't know how old he is in relation to Emile Hirsch. He's probably not old enough to be his dad. Probably a little too young for that. And quite frankly, Emile is a little too old for the role too. You would expect a guy younger to play that role. Young guy in trouble with a young wife. Real muscled up. Emile's in shape, but he's not jacked. That's what I would expect in a role like this. A guy who's fairly jacked, at least. Or he's got moves. Does Emile have moves? Well, he's a decent actor. I mean, I don't think he's without moves, but... So, I just... You're not selling me with this. And it's so strange to say that, considering the caliber of actors. I mean, these two actors are veterans. They've been in a lot of stuff. It's just weird to see them cast this way, especially Cusack. I cannot recall a movie like this where he's been cast. And the thing is, gangsters typically they skew to a particular ethnic group. And that's just the nature of organized crime. And if they don't, that undermines them. So either they're in the mafia and they've got a bit of an Italian look to them. In which case, for Cusack, he could probably pass as Italian if they gave him black hair. Like, dyed his hair black. maybe gave him some salt and pepper in it too. Or maybe gave him the hair helmet. Maybe changed his hair altogether. Gave him a wig. Maybe he should have shaved his head. That sometimes makes characters or makes actors look meaner and leaner. But then, without the hair, you wouldn't see the receding hairline. It might make him look a little younger. And maybe Cusack didn't want to shave his head. You know, I'm not sure why he was cast in this movie. It could be that, you know, his star is fading. Cusack was leading man material for a long time in quirky roles. Those days are behind him. He can't be in those roles anymore. I mean, the last thing I remember him in was Hot Tub Time Machine. And that was comedy. So, Emile Hirsch at least has been in thrillers for the most part. The last thing I saw him in was in that, it's like a hurricane thriller movie with Mel Gibson. A lot of people were complaining that Emile Hirsch was in a movie at all. That's another thing too. You know, Cusack is one of these very woke progressives. And here he is appearing in a movie with Emile Hirsch, who's been canceled for various reasons. It seems a little incongruent with his beliefs. Maybe. Not that I personally have anything against Emile Hirsch. I don't know if he was convicted of anything. I don't think he was, but, you know, I guess he's been forgiven. But this feels like two actors who are kind of just slumming it, quite frankly. You know, Cusack's been in big Hollywood blockbusters, and now he's in this. It just, you know, Emile Hirsch never was in, I can't think of a giant big movie he was in. I'm sure there's one or two he was in years ago. But, yeah, this is all very strange. Would I see this movie? Probably not. It just doesn't resonate with me. In the first act, they kidnap Emile's wife. Second act, he goes hunting for her. Various things happen. He gets captured, he escapes, he gets captured by the cops, he escapes, he gets captured by the gangsters, he escapes. Finally ending in a confrontation in the third act where he, I guess, saves his wife, but the trailer itself's a little dark, so maybe he doesn't save his wife. This could be a fun movie. And had it been a fun movie, I think it would have played a lot better, because Cusack could bring his comedy to the front, and so could Emile Hirsch, you know? And it would be more believable that it's a little bit wacky that a hacker is fighting a bunch of gangsters to save his wife, then, you know, I just can't get behind the seriousness of this movie. It seems too fantastical. I know, I'm complaining about it, but it's called Pursuit. Comes out this year. So I guess check it out if you're so inclined on February 18th. And that's it for me, Tony D. Little Jones asleep on the couch. Make sure you check out our other two videos on Odysee, Bitchute, and Rumble. We'll see you tomorrow.